Welcome back to our channel. Guys, today is Monday, a beautiful day to dive way too deep into our favorite chaotic universe. Grab a snack, a notebook, and maybe a stress ball, because we have so much to unpack and my brain is already running in a million different directions. Okay, let's assume everyone is lying. That is literally the only way I can even begin to process the July 13th information for Beyond the Gates. I mean, if we look at it as an investigation, that character is extremely suspicious. And by that character, I mean almost everyone, but specifically Haley. Let's start with the absolute biggest shocker of the week, Bill being rushed to the hospital. We all knew something was brewing, but seeing it actually play out is a whole different level of anxiety. During the deposition, Madison is taking his statement, and Bill just starts losing it. He's distracted, he's slurring his words, and he's stammering. And then he says cinnamon when he actually means ginger. Maybe it doesn't matter, but I noticed that specific word choice, cinnamon and ginger. They are both spices, right? Is that a clue? Like, is his brain still categorizing things correctly but just pulling the wrong specific file? Actually, no, that sounds too serious. It's probably just aphasia, a classic neurological symptom. The situation gets so bad that they have to immediately postpone the deposition. Naomi, his daughter, is sitting there terrified, wondering if her dad is having another stroke. Even Mike Davis is visibly worried, and you know things are bad when Mike breaks his usual stoic demeanor. But the audience knows the dark truth. It's not a stroke, it's Haley. Haley has been playing the long game, slipping a slow-acting poison into Bill's drinks for months, a literal Black Widow in the making. I hate that I understand why they did that from a storytelling perspective, because it builds this excruciating, slow-burn tension. But there's a logical gap here that I can't ignore. If she's been microdosing him for months to make it look natural, why on earth would she suddenly increase the dosage and spike his drinks more frequently right before a highly publicized legal deposition? That is incredibly reckless, unless, wait, did she want him to collapse in public? If he dies at home, it might look like foul play. But if he collapses under the immense stress of a legal deposition, everyone including Naomi and Mike will just assume the stress caused a medical event. Wow, that is actually terrifyingly brilliant. But then I think again, no, hold on a minute. Going to the hospital is a massive risk for Haley. If Bill survives this emergency room visit, the doctors are going to draw blood. They are going to run comprehensive metabolic panels and toxicology screens. How hard is this specific poison to detect? I mean, not exactly, but something like that. Usually, standard hospital tox screens only look for common drugs of abuse, not exotic slow-acting toxins. But if his symptoms mimic a stroke and the brain scans come back clear, a smart doctor is going to start digging deeper. I think the film is giving clues in a very subtle way about Haley's arrogance. She thinks she's untouchable. If we look at it as an investigation, what is Haley's next move? She has to go to the hospital and play the doting, terrified wife. But will she try to finish the job in the ICU? If the latest dose wasn't enough to kill him, she might panic. Imagine the suspense of her standing over his hospital bed, watching the drip, knowing that a single blood test could send her to prison forever. And what about Bill? Will he remember anything? Before he completely lost his ability to speak, did he notice that his morning coffee tasted a little off? Strange, really strange. The whole thing is strange. I am constantly changing my mind about whether Haley is a master manipulator or just a desperate person making sloppy mistakes. Speaking of desperate people making sloppy mistakes, let's pivot to Donnie and Andre. This is really complicated. While Bill is fighting for his life, Donnie and Andre are fighting for their relationship. And honestly, it's breaking my heart. Ever since the tornado hit the Fairmont Crest Resort, Donnie has been acting incredibly weird. Andre has noticed it. It's like she is completely stuck in the trauma of that natural disaster. But here is the thing, it's not what the characters say that matters, it's what they're avoiding. Donnie claims she was trapped alone in that elevator during the storm, alone. But is she really just traumatized by the claustrophobia? Or is she hiding something massive about what actually happened in that elevator? My brain immediately jumps to other things happening in the background of this universe. Like, we know Jacob has been secretly meeting his contact Grayson in elevators lately to avoid being seen, especially after his own contact, Ren, brutally beat him up in a warehouse over the plasma ring investigation. Is it possible Donnie saw something? Did she witness Jacob and Grayson? Or worse, did she run into Ren? Wait, actually, no. That doesn't make sense chronologically. The tornado was a separate event. Okay, I know I just said the opposite, but listen to me. What if the elevator itself is just a metaphorical space for hidden truths, or maybe not? I don't know. But let's stick to the emotional reality of Donnie and Andre. Donnie can't even articulate to Andre why she feels so disconnected. And then there's the issue with their daughter and the BRCA gene test. Their daughter didn't tell Donnie about the genetic testing results, and Donnie is devastated. Andre, being the logical one, thinks it's okay, that their daughter has a right to privacy and a different perspective. And logically, Andre is right, but emotionally, Donnie feels betrayed. Andre isn't listening to her in the way she needs to be listened to. He's trying to solve the problem, but Donnie just wants him to validate her pain. This is such a realistic depiction of how trauma and stress can fracture a normally healthy couple. They are trying to find common ground on Monday, but I feel like the gap between them is only widening. Is Donnie's guilt over something else, maybe a lie about the elevator projecting onto the BRCA test situation? It's basically like she's using the daughter's secret to justify her own emotional distance. And then we have Caught. Oh, Caught. She is a walking tornado herself. Chaos literally follows her wherever she goes, and as they said, it's basically her superpower. Just look at her track record over the last couple of weeks. She helped save Eva's life. She flat out rejected Tomas's marriage proposal. She finally apologized to her brother Martin and made him apologize to her, and then she impulsively bought a condo. All in like a week or two. It is exhausting just watching her. And now she's wrapped up in this massive business drama with Chelsea. They were supposed to collaborate on a new bag line. Initially, Chelsea wanted to dedicate the line to Cod, which is sweet but very brand-focused. But Cod, in a surprising moment of depth, convinced Chelsea to make it a charity project, donating 100% of the profits to a good cause. That was a beautiful, mature move. But in the upcoming episode, Chelsea makes a new offer, and Cod just flatly rejects it. Why? Did Cod suddenly realize her own worth? Or is she just being self-sabotaging again? This brings me to Nicole. Nicole is Cod and Martin's mother. And honestly, someone needs to give this woman a spa day because her stress levels must be astronomical. Nicole is deeply worried that Cod's latest decisions are being made for all the wrong reasons. And frankly, Nicole is highly intuitive. She usually sees right through her children's facades. If Nicole thinks Cod is buying a condo and rejecting business deals just to run away from her feelings about Tomas, she is probably right. But Nicole's paranoia isn't just about Cod. We have to remember the context of what Nicole is dealing with right now. Her son, Martin, just recently sat her down for a seemingly innocent chat about his post-campaign goals. Martin casually asked if he should scale back his workload or jump into a bigger project after the campaign, and Nicole instantly panicked. She told him, "This could upend your life. What are you planning, Martin?" So Nicole is currently managing the intense suspicion that her son is secretly plotting some massive, disruptive political or professional move. And she has to deal with her daughter impulsively buying real estate and blowing up business deals. No wonder Nicole is on edge. I think the film is giving clues in a very subtle way about how family dynamics shape our decisions. Martin is secretly ambitious, hiding his true intentions behind a casual facade. Cod is overtly chaotic, hiding her emotional vulnerability behind impulsive actions. And Nicole is stuck in the middle, trying to play detective with her own kids. Is Cod's refusal of Chelsea's offer a sign of a brilliant businesswoman who knows her worth, or is it just another symptom of her running away? I mean, Cod did help make the project more meaningful. Maybe she sees a flaw in Chelsea's new proposal that compromises the charity aspect. Or maybe she just wants to burn bridges because it's easier than maintaining relationships. Okay, let me back up. Let me try to connect these threads, even though my brain is jumping all over the place. We have Bill being poisoned from the inside by someone he trusts, Haley. We have Donnie being eaten alive from the inside by trauma and secrets she can't share with someone she loves, Andre. And we have Cod and Martin both making massive life changes that are terrifying their mother, Nicole. It's all about betrayal and the consequences of hidden truths. If Bill wakes up and remembers the cinnamon taste, Haley is done for. But if he doesn't, she might get emboldened and try to kill him right there in the hospital. I can totally see a scene where Haley sneaks into his room with a syringe, only to be interrupted by Naomi or Mike Davis at the very last second. That would be peak television. And with Donnie, I'm officially predicting that she was not alone in that elevator. There is a logical gap here that I can't ignore. The writers wouldn't keep bringing up the elevator if it was just about claustrophobia. Someone else was in there. Maybe someone connected to the plasma ring? Wait, no, I am mixing up storylines again. But imagine if Jacob, who is currently hiding in elevators from Ren, somehow crossed paths with Donnie during the storm. Actually, no, the timelines don't perfectly align for that, but something of a kind could be happening. The resort is a small world. Ultimately, I am just so stressed about all of this. I want Bill to survive and expose Haley. I want Donnie and Andre to just sit down in a therapist's office and actually listen to each other. And I want Cod to figure out what she actually wants in life without giving Nicole a heart attack. But knowing this show, things are only going to get darker and more complicated before they get better. Strange, really strange. The whole thing is strange, but I literally cannot stop watching. I'll probably change my mind about all these theories by tomorrow, but for now, this is where I stand. Let me know what you guys think, because my brain is officially fried trying to put these puzzle pieces together.